gentlemen, to Long Box Chronicles Month here on Reaction and Review. Tonight, guys, I'm taking a look at a movie from 2004. That movie is The Punisher. Now, as many of you know, and as I made really clear when I covered Punisher Warzone 2 years ago, I'm a big fan of the Punisher as a character, and the comic books have always been a lot of fun to read. So I'm genuinely hoping for this movie to be great. I really wish I could tell you anything about the plot, but I do not remember a single one of the, TV ads that were out a decade ago when this thing was in theaters. My God, this movie is 10 years old. It just doesn't feel like it's been 10 years, guys, you know what I mean? But hey, like I said, I'm a big fan of the Punisher character. I'm genuinely hoping for this movie to be good, and if it is good, then I'm gonna have to wonder exactly why they felt the need to reboot it when they made Punisher Warzone. Mind you, I also really enjoyed Punisher, Warzone, so I honestly am not complaining either way. Now, I don't know if this thing is going to be any good, and the only way I'm going to find out is if I shut up and I push play, and I'm going to do that right now. So, without further ado, it's time to kick back, relax, and check out The Punisher. Well, guys, I am able to say one thing so far. This movie's pacing is, at least so far, hideous. We are almost 20 minutes in, and nothing has happened. And I mean literally nothing has happened. It's really bad, guys, when a film has gone this far in, and we haven't even been given reason to care about anything which is fucking going on. I mean, I'm genuinely hoping that it gets better. But right now, so far at least, the movie's kind of dull. Wait a sec. So Frank finds his Punisher logo shirt. His, legendary, iconic shirt with that skull on it. He found it washed up on the beach. Sure. Yeah, that's totally better than him, I don't know, fashioning it in order to look more threatening. No. It basically is just trash that got washed up on the beach. Sure. God, this is getting kind of stupid, guys. Okay, that is probably one of the most creative ways I've ever seen to torture somebody and not actually do damage. In fact, god damn, that honestly is just fucking awesome, guys. It really is. Wow, I am struggling to stay the fuck, oh wait, guys, this thing is getting pretty bad. Well, not bad, just really boring. I'm genuinely hoping for the second half of this film to get better, but then again, those hopes are kind of minimal since the first hour's been kind of drab and lifeless. Alright, guys, that was really sad. The one actor in this entire film who gave a fucking performance that had any life or soul in it was Kevin Nash. His character is now dead, and he had no dialogue. I'm going to stress this. He had no dialogue, yet he has turned in the best performance in this entire fucking movie. I want you to process that, because my fucking brain is having a hard enough time processing just the mere fact that Kevin Nash is the best actor this film's got so far. Jesus fuck, that is just depressing. I swear to God, guys, this is the worst performance I have ever seen John fucking Travolta give. And I've watched Battlefield Earth at least 3 times. This thing is making his performance in Battlefield Earth look like fucking Oscar-worthy shit. My God, that is... I never thought I would say that, guys, but god damn it, it's true. That's it. That was our big final showdown between Saint and Castle. That was fucking shit. Honest to God, that was fucking retarded. That was the cheapest fucking face-off I've ever seen. That is the cheapest payoff this movie could have ever given us. God, fuck this movie. Jesus Christ. Well, guys, that was The Punisher. The plus side is, we are closing on a fucking awesome song. I really am a fan of this song. It's kind of a pity that the movie itself was shit. Alright, let me shut that off. As much as I'd love to just sit there and jam out to that, there's a reason why I've got the song downloaded. I can do that later. Now, oh boy, where the hell to start? Well, I guess before I go into my thoughts on it, I am going to say this. This film harkens back to a lot of the really cheesy, really stupid action films from like the late 70s and into the 80s. So if you were a fan of cheeseball garbage like, let's say, Death Wish or Marked for Death, Hard to Kill, Commando, like if all those sorts of movies just get you rock hard, then this movie's going to be perfect for you. However, since I don't like those sorts of action films, because I kind of like a little bit of plot in my action films, this was not for me. The one thing that makes it even more insulting is the fact that they took a character who, in the comics, is a slightly deep and nuanced character, and they just turned him into some jackass with guns, bombs, and nothing the fuck else. Why don't we start with writing? And as I just stated a second ago, the Punisher, if you read the books, is at times a nuanced and deep character. There is a rhyme and a reason for everything which he does, and he is a very hands-on guy when it comes to taking care of whatever target he has chosen. In this film, it's not him who is selecting the targets. He is spending more time fighting off people who are coming after him, and he also will send he will send members of the villain's gang against each other, which is not the Punisher's way. And to be honest, it seriously isn't even interesting to watch him sit there and set up all of this shit and then just lead to, you know, oh yeah, a stabbing. Whoopee. You know, it just didn't feel, you know, right. Now, not only is the Punisher here just turned, I mean, not only is the Punisher just lost all of his personality and character from the comics, everybody in this film has no semblance of personality to speak of. Every character here is flat and lifeless and just plain boring. Where you basically guys are either, you know, where you basically are either personality free and you are a mostly good person. You have no personality and you're mostly a bad person, or you have no personality and you are a member of the and you are a member of Saint's gang. Or you are Mr. Saint himself, who, even though he's played by Travolta, who can fucking ham it up with the best of them, has no fucking personality in the slightest. Guys, nobody in this film has anything that I could even call a personality. It's nothing short of a miracle. I even know that the villain's last name is Saint. And the only reason why I know the Punisher's name is Frank Castle is because I'm a fan of the fucking comics. I couldn't tell you the name of any other character in this fucking movie, and that's pretty fucking sad. Now, besides our ultra shallow characters, which I guess is par for the course if you're into plotless action films, our plot itself also doesn't really work. Okay, I'm kind of happy that they worked in the Punisher's origin of his wife and son being killed, and that leads him on a vigilante rampage against all things criminal. That's totally fine. That is awesome. Rock and roll. But and right here, guys, is just sort of where I have to sort of stand it. This here is sort of where I have to step in and go, okay. Now, the fact is that we get that origin about 20 minutes in. Punisher, Frank Castle, does not do shit for almost another hour. We have almost another hour between origin and anything else where it's just him setting up. It's 1 hour of him setting up, and he's grabbing all these guns, and he's going and fucking pimping out the dirtbag fucking apartment he has, and you know, and he's making friends with all of the other tenants, and you know, it really is just an hour of nothing at all, and it gets boring as hell really fucking quick. And then, guys, when the action finally kicks in, the action also kind of feels a little bit, you know, lacking, which is saying a lot, because this thing is, I can almost feel it. This thing here was supposed to be like a fucking, like, I mean, this thing here was supposed to be similar to a lot of those plotless, stupid 80s action films, but even it has less plot than most of those. So yes, guys, as borderline plotless as bullshit, like, let's say, Hard to Kill was, it has more plot than this. It had deeper characters than this. Fuck, guys, Death Wish had better writing than this, and that is saying a lot, because Death Wish didn't have writing. It just had, I swear to God, Death Wish did not have writing. It just sort of had, you know, like a fucking outline, and everyone else just sort of said go. This thing has less plot than, I mean, this thing has less shit going on than that. The action scenes here, minus one fight scene between Frank Castle and the Russian. Between Frank and the Russian, that's probably the one genuinely interesting action scene in the entire film. And it's a 4-minute scene, okay? It is a 4-minute fight scene in a 2-hour and 3-minute movie. That means we have 2 hours of downtime. The ending. Jesus fuck. I am so used, guys, to seeing a bunch of these sorts of action films where the ending is a knockdown, drag-out fist fight between our hero and our villain. This thing here was a one gunshot show-off, and or fucking, you know, like a showdown, and it wasn't even an interesting one. At which point, then, we are then treated to a ton of cars blowing up. Most of those were CG. Really shit and cheap CG, but I'll get to that when I cover special effects. Now, I mentioned the fight between Frank and the Russian, and that is going to segue perfectly into acting, because even though this movie has a bunch of prominent, top-notch actors, people who you know, all right, because people know who John Travolta is, people know who Rebecca Romaine Stamos is, people know who Roy Scheider is. None of them turned in a halfway decent showing. Kevin Nash shows up and grunts his way through a 4-minute fight scene and immediately turns in the best performance in the entire fucking movie, which is probably because he had the benefit of not having any of this bullshit dead as hell dialogue. My God, guys. It is saying a lot when Kevin Nash is the best actor you fucking have. It is saying a lot when Kevin Nash, one of the shittiest actors I've ever seen and one of the worst wrestlers I've ever seen, is able to act circles around people like John Travolta. I kind of thought that John Travolta knew how to act. And I even found benefits in the horrible showing he turned in for fucking Battlefield Earth. But his performance in Battlefield Earth, infinitely better than what he turned in here. Every actor here turned in a lifeless bullshit showing, and that's probably mainly because the dialogue that they were given was wooden, stilted, and lifeless. So naturally, you really can't work, you know, miracles with that. Once more, out of the entire cast, the only actor who turned in anything that was halfway decent was Kevin Nash, and that is because all he had to do was grunt while punching the Punisher. That's it. The acting in this movie was shit, guys. It really fucking was. Special effects is really one of the few spots where this film almost shines, because we have some really awesome, we have a lot of awesome things here involving squibs and explosions, special effects in fucking involving knives, and then we get to the ending. Every single special effect here is fantastic until we get to the ending when a bunch of cars explode, and half of them are very poorly put on CG flames. And I should also say that the CG flames also in no way match the actual flames that were on set from the cars that they had rigged to actually explode on set. It stands out like a sore thumb. It looks fucking awful. And it really does take one of the few positives this movie has and drags it down into bullshit territory, because there is no excuse for them to have needed CG flames, because if you're already blowing up 5 cars in this shot, what the fuck is stopping you from blowing up 8? Alright? Why the hell did you need to throw CG flames on like 3 out of every 8 fucking cars you were blowing up on set? It did not look good at all. It looked hideous. The only other thing I can kind of praise in this movie is its music, because it has a really good score, and the song which plays over the closing credits, which is "Step Up" by fucking Drowning Pool, is an amazing song, and as I said, I love this song. However, the very fact that I have to dip into music to find something that is a genuine, solid positive with no fucking negatives, that is saying a lot. And I haven't even gotten into technicals, because frankly, the technicals here are also all fine. Camera work, sound mix, lighting, all okay. Now all of that is fine. However, though, this also was a big budget film, and it was from Lionsgate, and Lionsgate knows how to get that kind of shit done right. So when all is said and done, the only genuine positive we have outside of basic technical shit is the music. And a lot of people are not even going to be paying fucking attention to the music, because the fucking plot and the writing and the lifeless dialogue is going to bore most of them to sleep. So guys, when all is said and done, am I able to recommend Punisher? No. Unless you are a fan of these sorts of mindless, plotless action films, I cannot recommend this in the slightest. In fact, I will say that this thing is also the worst Punisher movie I have ever seen. I have now seen all 3 of them. I have seen the Punisher movie from 1989, I've seen Punisher Warzone, and I have seen this. This thing is by far the worst, and the funny part about it is that this thing is an even worse 80s style action film than the Punisher film from 1989 was, and that one was a genuine 80s action film. And that one also had Dolph Lundgren as the Punisher, and Lundgren, similar to Kevin Nash, cannot physically act. And yet he turned in a better showing than Thomas fucking Jane did in this film. I would highly recommend Warzone, because Punisher Warzone was actually a good movie. And if you had to pick between Punisher 89 and this piece of shit, go watch Punisher 89. That one is at least marginally better. Jesus fuck. I really thought this thing was going to be good, guys. I really thought so. Because, goddammit, it was the Punisher. I really thought you couldn't fuck up the Punisher. Apparently, I was fucking wrong. Now, I am going to go watch Punisher Warzone, because, goddammit, I wanted to watch a Punisher movie. To call this thing a Punisher movie is a slap in the fucking face. Anyway, guys, with that, we come to the close of another reaction and review. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, take care, and I will see you all in the near future. Peace.